Hello and welcome to this AVI on using the Advanced Calibration Wizard in Synlab. In this tutorial we will take you through the various steps required to produce your own media profiles on media for which no print mode currently exists. If you are unfamiliar with print modes, then we recommend you first watch the Calibration Wizard introduction tutorial and then have a go at using the Novice Calibration Wizard. Once you are confident using these tools, you can then return to this tutorial to learn more about the Advanced Wizard, which has less explanatory steps and will ultimately save you time when creating new print modes. Before you start your first media profile, you will need to install and configure your chosen color reading device. We recommend you do this by connecting your device and then use the drivers that are supplied on your Synlab installation CD-ROM. I am happy my i1 is fully installed and ready to use, so I can go ahead and launch the Calibration Wizard by going to the Options menu and select an Advanced Calibration Wizard. With the Advanced Wizard I have the choice to create a new print mode or return to a previously unfinished mode. This part also has several options for refining existing modes. In this example I will be creating a new print mode from scratch, so with this option selected, I can click Next. If you have previously only used the Novice Wizard, then this next window will be unfamiliar to you. Unlike the Novice Wizard, which has several different windows for you to work through and enter in the various properties of your new print mode, the Advanced Wizard presents all the fields on this one page. With the skills you have picked up in the Novice Wizard, you should easily be able to fill out these fields with little explanation. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll give you some reminders on how best to complete the sections in this window. The first field to be completed is the name of your new print mode. When naming a new mode, it's ideal to develop a naming convention that allows you to quickly identify the type of media, print resolution, and the other print-specific variables used in the new mode. If you do not have a naming convention already, then it's strongly recommended that you use the current system installed by CADLink. CADLink organizes its print modes into a hierarchy that indicates the printer model, the inkset, media manufacturer, media category, and media description. In addition to this, each print mode's file is named according to the part number, the print resolution, and the print quality. This example shows a typical print mode hierarchy along with how a print mode file name would appear. So using this system, I'm going to go ahead and assign a name for the print mode to be created here. This next section contains a list of the printers currently installed on your system, so from it you will need to select the printer for which you want to create a new mode. If you have not yet installed the chosen device, then exit the wizard, install the printer in the regular way, and then return to this part and continue with the process. The next task is to select an initializing print mode. This print mode will be used as a starting reference point, so it's important it is as close in properties to the type of media you wish to calibrate, and it would also need to support printing with the same inks that you currently have installed in your printer. In this example I will be creating a media profile for a gloss white calendar vinyl at a resolution of 720 by 720 dpi. So from this list I'll select a current profile with as close to those properties as possible. The print modes are arranged by media manufacturer, media type, and then resolution. The next field requires you to select which color reading device you will use to read the various charts that will be printed during the calibration process. For this example I will be using the Gretag i1. The rest of the options here have been defined by the printer I chose and the initializing print mode selected. Because these properties are printer specific, they will vary slightly from one device to the next, and they can be adjusted to better suit the type of media you are currently calibrating. The introduction tutorial on using this wizard outlines some of these settings and what they refer to, and the Novice Wizard also has more information and a detailed explanation of the different options and how they may be set based on the type of media you want to calibrate, and even more the specific job you may have in mind for that media. I'm happy with all the fields in this window, so I can now click Next The next step is to print out the first of the charts. So ensuring that the media to be profiled is loaded in my printer and ready to go, I can go ahead and click print. This will then send the job to my print and cut manager. With the job in the print and cut manager, I can now right click on the job and select print. Once your chart has been printed, it's important to check it thoroughly for any blemishes in the print, as this may cause failed or false readings when the chart is read by the I1. Another important point to check here is that the print is completely dry before you start to read it. Now I have this chart printed, I can return to the wizard in Synab and follow the steps to read it using the I1. The device being used will have a bearing on the options presented in this window, so if you are proceeding with a device other than the I1, you may not have the exact view I have here. Clicking on this question mark symbol will give you some general guidelines on reading a chart with your chosen spectrophotometer, and we advise you read them fully the first time you use the wizard. When using the I1, I will first need to calibrate the device by clicking this tab here. Once calibrated, I can start my reading. When reading a chart with the I1, my method will be to scan each line of the chart individually. However, this will vary depending on the device you use. The X-Write, for example, works by feeding a complete chart through in one step. Whichever device you use, you will need to click here to start your reading. The I1 works by placing this plastic guide over the first line to be read. Now I can place the device over this white space to the side of the chart and then press and hold the button on the side of the I1. Once I've done this, this will emit an audible beep to let me know it's ready to start reading. Keeping the button held down, I can now move the device along the guide until I reach the white space on the other side of my chart. If the line has been read successfully, then the results will appear in the corresponding line in the on-screen chart, and you can proceed to line 2 and repeat these steps again. If a false reading has been acquired on any of the lines, the I1 will emit a warning tone and the wizard will instruct you to rescan that line. Regardless of what colour reading device is used to complete these steps, the basic process of reading the printed chart and then checking the results and rereading if necessary will remain the same. I'm going to continue now and read the rest of the chart with the I1. With this stage complete, I can now click next and move on to the next step, which is to produce a maximum ink chart. The max ink chart will enable me to determine the maximum amount of ink the media can handle before over-inking occurs. The chart is basically a series of identical images printed at different max ink levels. In this window, I must set the maximum and minimum amount of inks I would like to see used on the chart and then decide how many increments to produce between these two values. For example, if I set my maximum ink level to 350 and my minimum ink level to 250 and set increments of 10, the chart will produce 10 images all at different ink levels. I will then have to decide which one has produced the best results. Okay, I'll go ahead now and print my maximum ink chart. With the chart complete, my final task is to examine the chart and decide which one of the images has produced the best results. The choice is purely down to the user's definition of what is a good maximum ink level. Essentially, what I will do is select the image I feel has produced the best results without there being any signs of over-inking. Once I have made a choice, I only need enter my new max ink value in this box here. If you find none of the images on the printed chart look right, then you can produce a second max ink chart with different values and increments as required. With my max ink value set, I can now move on to the final steps and create an ICC chart. This is the final step in the print mode creation and is taken to ensure that when you print an image using your newly created profile, you'll be able to produce a better colour match in your finished prints. The ICC creation process is simply a case of producing a final chart and then reading the results with your spectrophotometer in the same way we did earlier with the linearization chart at the start of the wizard. Okay, I've now read all the lines of my ICC chart with the I1, and with this complete I can now move on. Synab will now give me a warning that the ICC creation process may take up to 20 minutes to complete. I'm going to say OK to this, and the process will begin. I have now successfully completed a new print mode for a previously uncalibrated media. These final windows offer a summary of the steps we have just taken to arrive at this point. Have a go at creating your own media profiles, and then with confidence move on to the next tutorial in this series on using the advanced calibration wizard, which has fewer steps and will ultimately save you time when making a new print mode.